All right. AI is predicted to wipe out 99% of jobs in the next couple years. And this video is essentially an entire breakdown of how to not get replaced. I'm giving you everything. Why? One reason. If I can help just one person, then I've helped the younger version of myself. And you don't have to spend $10,000 on some generic course that doesn't actually help you in any way. You don't need $10,000 or some fancy degree to start. All you need is yourself, a laptop, and Wi-Fi. The market for this is so unsaturated right now, and it's specifically because of the boom of online education. There is such a high demand for online education, and that means that with the millions and millions of dollars flooding into the industry, you can just step in as a middleman and redirect that into your own pockets. Now, this is AI proof, and the reason behind it is that, yes, AI can book calls right now, but it's never going to have the trust that a human has when it actually comes to making a decision for a 5-figure deal. You do not have to be some sort of tech wizard or genius. That will get replaced by AI anyway, okay? The reason that you're actually starting this industry is so that you don't get replaced, okay? Now, in this online space, there is so many lies being spread, so much dishonesty, and I've personally witnessed it, okay, firsthand. So this is the exact reason why I want to give away the exact framework for the people that actually want to learn. At the end of the day, yes, this is about the money. Yes, this is about not getting replaced. But again, becoming the more confident, more abundant, more free version of yourself. That's the goal. The most influential skill on the planet. It's timeless as well. Every millionaire and billionaire that you look up to started with sales. You need a deeper connection. You need authenticity, okay? Most deals actually stall on emotion, risk, politics, never really a lack of knowledge on the product. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that you'll need.
All right. So, as you can see, I went from working construction. I didn't have any business skills that I actually required in order to fulfill for that client. So they actually refunded, which was not a good time. As you can see here, I also started reselling and drop shipping as well, but I failed both of them too. And at the time, I was actually a bit of a degenerate too. I would just go out and party. I was chasing a lot of cheap dopamine. Okay. So as you can see here, that didn't help. Okay. And then what I actually realized after trying all of this is that I was competing with people in business that had 100 grand a day in ad spend. And I didn't actually have any core skills to be able to succeed in business. So I realized that I'm just going to get eaten alive if I keep competing. So that's when I actually got into sales. And I realized if I can just learn sales, I can actually step into a business that is spending, 100 grand a day on ads and just become a middleman for them. Okay. And after about 6 months, I was earning consistent 10 grand months. Okay. And the reason I show these screenshots is because basically 99% of people in this industry, they won't actually show proof. If they do show you proof that they're doing high ticket sales, they'll essentially just show you a dashboard from a payment processor on the course that they actually sell. So yes, essentially they are still doing high ticket sales, but all of the money they make is from actually selling people on a high ticket sales course. Okay. All of this money I made here was from high ticket sales. Okay. And that's to actually show proof. So as a high ticket sales rep, my biggest payout was 15 grand in 3 days. And I hit a 25K month. As you can see, 17th to the 20th, 15K. Okay. Obviously before tax as well, just to keep it completely transparent. But yeah, this is not a flex at all. It's just to show that I'm not lying, that this was actually commission made from a sales position. Unlike these other people that you see all over Instagram that will basically say anything to sell you a course. Okay. And they actually only make money from their students, which is just crazy. Yeah, the world's pretty backwards nowadays. But yeah, this is proof on why this isn't just a side hustle, and that obviously you do start it as a side hustle alongside your 9 to 5, but this is real world money. This is fast cash. Okay. It's a cash grab. All right. And if you do choose to go all in on this, which I highly recommend, you could be getting payouts like this too. It's just meant I went to Bali, I could surf, I could do everything I loved, hang out with people, and just travel and have location and time freedom. So all of that is great, but now I actually want to show you how you can do the same, just like other people have done as well. Okay. So grab a pen and paper, come back to this video if you need to. At least take an hour out of your day to sit down and watch this and be able to write everything down so that you can implement. Okay. And after you finish this video, it's an asset. You need to keep it for yourself. Everything I show you is all the frameworks I used, all the struggles I went through, all the strategies that helped me land amazing offers and develop the skill for myself. Okay. So I'm confident that if you follow everything in this video, there is an extremely strong chance that you will have incredible success in this industry, land an amazing role, and start making amazing commissions. Okay. And if that does happen, come back to this video and in the comment section, let me know, let everyone know. Okay. Because you did that shit. But yeah, let's expose everything. Okay. So, yo, Okay, so this is essentially what's going to happen to the world once AI wipes out 99% of jobs. Okay, and I've done a lot of research on this, so it's not an if, it's a when. Okay, so AI is predicted to wipe out, bro, this pen, 99% of jobs, okay, in the next decade. And obviously with AI right now, that's not the case. Okay, AI is basically prompted, it's coded to just do basic tasks. Okay, but what I'm talking about is when basically massive tech companies that are spending billions and billions of, can this thing right? Bro. Yeah, so massive tech companies, right, are spending billions of dollars to create AGI, A AG. Anyway, you get the idea, and that's general intelligence. That's super intelligence. Okay, so this is how wages essentially work and how household income works. So these are houses, and basically 60% of household income is from a wage. Okay, 15% is from government benefits, 10% is from investments like real estate, crypto, any sort of asset that is passive income, and then 15% is from entrepreneurs as well. Okay, so what this means is that in the next 5 years, half of all jobs are going to be replaced. So this will cut that down to 30%. Where did the other 30% go? I'd say 15% will go to here and 15% will go to here. Okay. Now, in terms of actually what they'll do is they'll make some sort of fund for if you've lost your job from AI, right? Which will be like some sort of benefit. And they won't be able to get the money from here because these jobs are gone. They won't be able to get the money from here because entrepreneurs can basically just move to tax-free places like Dubai, etc. And they'll get them from here. So what they'll do is they will put this 10% up to here. So like if you hold any real estate, if you have any sort of passive income investments, they're going to basically just skyrocket gains, like capital gains tax, all these taxes to be able to afford an extra 15% for benefits and pay these people on benefits, right? So realistically, you've clicked on this video for a reason because being an entrepreneur means you can have time freedom, location freedom, everything you've ever wanted. And what AI is actually going to do is basically give entrepreneurs a cheat code, okay? Because they'll have coding, they'll have information, automations that will basically mean that, let's change the color. Yeah, it'll basically mean that entrepreneurs can just earn even more money because it's all automated. And the other thing is that they can move to wherever they want and won't be affected by any of it. So yes, you could get on benefits, but realistically, the only option nowadays is to be an entrepreneur. Okay, that's the only option that you've got. All right. So I hope that made sense. Now, that's basically the way the world is heading in the next 5 years. And you probably might say, AI is going to replace sales too. But yes, it can handle scripts. It can handle scheduling as well. But most deals actually need that emotion and trust. Okay, so what AI will do to entrepreneurs and salespeople, people that work on performance basis, is it will actually help them leverage, it will help them make more money even faster. Right. Now, very important, what actually is high ticket sales? So high ticket sales and remote sales is just a term that's thrown around. Okay, it's like any other sales role. You get paid commission for the sales you make for a business, right? The only difference is, unlike selling a house or a car, you're selling a digital product, okay? An online coaching package, okay? So these can be 3 to 60K coaching, consulting, agency offers, any online expensive product or service. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to pay for any leads. Okay, the leads are generated from ads, long form, short form content after opting in, and they're literally just warm leads booked onto your calendar. Okay, so they already have intent to buy and they already have interest as well. So you literally just turn them from right, so let's get the pen out. So obviously at the top here, right, this is the funnel of a business offer or someone that sells a high ticket product or service. Okay, so this is the top of the funnel. We do not need to focus on this. Okay, so this is marketing, ads, everything like that. That's what the business owner or some sort of operator or marketing person behind the actual offer will do. Okay, so you don't have to focus on that. Where sales come in is middle and bottom of funnel. Arguably bottom, but it is middle as well. So basically, closers take the sales calls and setters or lead gen book the calls in. Okay, so an appointment setter is basically an appointment hunter. So what he does is he basically gets prospects from ads, qualifies them, books calls. Okay, so you can have DM setters. To be completely transparent, DM setters are getting replaced by AI because they're literally just sending DMs. AI replaces that easily. So dialers, on the other hand, won't get replaced, or some will, but a very good dialer will never get replaced. They basically just get leads from ads, call them, book them in, get a bit of rapport there, make sure they're qualified, and just handle light objections. So they're actually selling a call, all right? And usually they get, I'll just delete this so you can see it, usually they get 5% comms, okay? Or they get, a base plus booked call bonus. Usually it's 5% of every deal that closes that they've booked, okay? And typically they can make around 2 to 10K a month or more, all right? Now, this is where closers come in. Obviously, they're not just selling a call, they're selling the deal, right? So actually jump on sales calls, diagnose what the prospect actually needs, handle objections, and closes the deal. So this can be over Zoom or phone. And basically you need to have a good close rate, conversion rate, and generate cash for the business. And then you obviously need to be good at objection handling, framing, financial discussion, buyer's psychology, etc. And you usually get paid 10 to 12%, sometimes 20%. That's very rare though. So basically good closers can pull anywhere from 10 to 40, even 50 grand a month, even 80 to 100 grand a month, depending on the offer. Because offer is everything. You can be the best closer, but if you're on a bad offer, you're never going to make 50k a month. But if you're a decent closer on a good offer, you can make a lot more. So that's what happens. And then this is basically how they work together: is seller warms up, the leads, books in a call, closer takes it, and closes the deal. So as you can see, we're not focusing on the top of funnel, just the middle and bottom of funnel. That's all we have to focus on as middlemen. Okay. And yeah, basically you actually get to learn the process of a business and get paid to do it. So this is, obviously where I struggled with my marketing agency. I had no skills, but now that I'm building skills, this will be easier to do in the future. Okay. So that's another great thing about it. Basically what you need to be good at this is just being human and authentic. That's why it's not going to get replaced by AI, because you're essentially just having the fundamental skill of being human. Okay. You need to also uncover pain, dig deeper, and give that person a solution, and then also objection handle, because not every call is going to be a lay down, right? People obviously have fears. We're all humans, and that's what you're uncovering. So this is basically sales funnel. It just goes leads, appointment, pre-call, dig into the problem, presenting a solution, handle objections, close the deal, collect the cash. Okay, so this is like how a funnel actually works. And as you can see here, sales is a cash grab. So just master the process, follow your frameworks, and it's essentially just a funnel. Okay, so obviously marketing is a funnel, but sales is a funnel because you're funneling prospects into buying. Okay, and then you obviously get your commission cut. Right. So if I go back here, that is basically obviously following this funnel down. That's where you get to the money. Okay. Now, second bit. Also, also massive thing is obviously marketing, sales, and then fulfillment. So obviously you don't have to deal with any of that as well, but that's actually getting results for the client, so that they are happy. Okay. Pretty straightforward. But this is the second fundamental bit that you obviously need to follow. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Bomboclat. Why is my computer being so slow? Okay, sweet. So as you can see here, very important, having the right mindset and not being a bot. Okay. Sounds easy, but it's actually a lot harder than you think. So this is probably the hardest bit about being an entrepreneur or being in some sort of sales, performance-based role, okay, where you work for yourself, is mindset. Okay. So this is a sales role. And at the end of the day, like, online sales has been very, very glorified. Okay. So it's still difficult. It's a lot easier because you're talking to qualified people, and the marketing from content has gotten a lot better in recent years. But at the end of the day, it's still sales, similar to real estate, similar to a mortgage broker. Okay. So it actually requires a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and obsession. And then also, sticking with it, having resilience for the mission that you're on. Okay. So to be completely upfront, to actually have success in your first 1 to 2 months is very, very unlikely. Like any business model, it actually takes time. Okay, you need to put in the reps, you need to train the muscle. And some weeks you'll end up making your old monthly wage, and others you'll just make nothing. Okay, so coming into this, you've got to be okay with that. But at the end of the day, the only thing you've got to really ask yourself is, am I more okay with getting replaced or not making some money 1 week? Okay, and if it's, not making money 1 week, then again, this is what you should chase. So at the end of the day, if you aren't willing to endure that risk, then it's probably not the industry for you. And that's just straight up. But given that you are willing to take that risk, yeah, you've now unlocked the ability to set your own schedule, set your own income, and it will be very fulfilling from that risk and sacrifice. That's spelled wrong. Sacrifice. Or is it? I don't know. But yeah, not to mention, you also have to get the right training, the right guidance, and the right network. These are all very important. Because the biggest thing is, to actually get success as a sales rep and get to 10K months, you need clarity. Okay, you need accountability, a roadmap, and clarity. Without that, you're basically it's just going to be a lot harder. Okay, you can either just basically teleport to where you want to be from learning exactly from someone who's gotten there, or just try and stumble to that result yourself. So one's obviously going to cut out a lot of time for you. Okay, so going down to this. Yeah, so basically the mindset traits to have is basically you're now a business owner. So you need to be your own boss. Okay, it's pretty simple. You need to have your own consistent commitment, and essentially you're working for yourself. So you need to motivate yourself. Okay, you also need to be very consistent, be relentless with it. You need to have a lot of emotional control. Some days, nothing's going to go your way. Even for weeks straight, nothing's going to go your way. But you have to have that emotional control. Not take no's personally, actually just detach from the outcome and only attach yourself to the inputs that you're doing. Okay, because they're the only thing that's going to move the needle forward for yourself. Right? Always be curious, always be wanting to learn, don't have an ego. Always think about pain first. So people buy from pain, right? They buy from a desire to want to get to a specific location or circumstance in their life. So that's what you've got to really go hard on. And then obviously not be a bot. That's just, okay, yeah, don't be a bot. So be resilient under chaos, and then also be obsessive with the numbers. Always track your metrics. This is the great thing about sales, is that you can watch back your gameplay. You can track everything. You know where you need to improve. Okay, and then always have a growth mindset and a long-term greed. So long term, just looking long term, right? Because obviously you're building up your skills in order to have complete freedom, right? So I'll delete this and then go down. This is basically the perspective and self-belief you need to adopt ASAP. Okay, so basically you're embarking on this journey. You need to embark on it with the perspective that making money is easy and achievable. That is so easy, it's so abundant. What do you think is going to happen when you think like that? It's going to happen. It's going to materialize into reality. Okay, and you got to remember, you're a human as well. So if other people can achieve it, why is there any reason you couldn't? You know, and it seems so straightforward, but it is very hard. So this is the muscle that you have to train. And each day that you're taking calls or setting appointments, basically you need to know that you've already made it and that time is just catching up. You need to be so confident that it's already happened that it will. Okay. And then you've also got to convince yourself that you've already achieved everything you want to and be obsessed with getting there. So just be obsessed with the inputs, understand that you've already achieved it, understand that everything you want has already happened and time is catching up. And then also that life is easy. And that's going to get you a very, very long way. Okay. So that's everything about mindset. Very, very important. Now, this is essentially how to not be a bot and just key aspects on how to actually excel. So don't sound robotic, okay? Don't just repeat lines, read scripts. Basically, you've got to have your own personal approach if you want to rise above all the rest, okay? You've got to understand the bigger picture, and that's, not everyone deserves to actually purchase, if they're not the right ICP or the perfect prospect, right? That's not actually going to get results. So that's what you're going to need to be aware of. Again, basically don't just run through a script, use the framework and adapt it each time, okay? And then also don't burn bridges, just focus on long-term relationships, not just quick commissions, okay? And essentially when you shift from this, you become irreplaceable, which is the whole point of this video. Now, this is what to do and what not to do. So, first off, study calls, be obsessed, educate yourself on how you want to sell, understand humans, buyers, and sales psychology, study frameworks, be a killer. Sales is a numbers game, so just put in the work and be committed, okay? Realize you can determine your own income. Don't move slow, be lazy, skip watching your calls or skip study, not understand buyers psychology, wing it, and just try to completely reinvent the wheel. And yeah, just don't do sales if you're scared of being commission only, because that's the whole upper hand of it. And yeah, at the end of the day, just don't be a bot. Like, it's pretty simple stuff, but it's easy to slip up on. And then essentially, yeah, just actions speak louder than words. Okay, if you've actually been saying you want to start, this is everything that you're gonna have to put into it. Okay, and just saying you're going to do it is actually moving you further away from your goals. As I always say, saying is not doing the thing, thinking about it is not doing the thing is actually doing the thing. Massive one. So yeah, just start now before you get replaced. Otherwise, you will miss your chance. Right. On to the next section. So this is actually training the skill. As soon as you've got your mindset and what to actually do dialed in, now you've actually got to practice and get good. So selling is a skill we're all actually born with. It's like wired into our biology, but you do have to train it, otherwise you fall behind. So as I was saying, it's literally hardwired into our biology. The Romans have been trading goods back in the day, and Egyptians were bartering for status. Humans have always survived off actually persuading others in exchange for value. It's how the world turns around, right? Because if sales wasn't a thing, we'll just move this over, then we wouldn't have an economy. And that's just facts. So yeah, that being said, some of us are naturally better than others, although in this online game, it's basically just about putting in the reps. If you practice more than someone else, then you are going to get better and better. So this is basically just putting in the role plays, studying what you're doing wrong, constantly improving, okay? As I say, it's a muscle you have to train. This comes from preparation, and basically, whether that's seating, that's supposed to be setting, or closing, the more shots you put up, the more are going to land. Sales is a numbers game. Re-emphasis on that. Now, the only difference between the training required for remote sales is that you're more so selling emotionally. Okay, again, sales is always emotional, but with these sort of online education programs, it's all about the removing limiting beliefs, uncovering pain, and then actually getting them their desired situations. That's a big one. They're not getting a product, they're getting a desired situation or the best version of themselves. Okay, so it's what you can do for that person's life and goals. Cool. Now, to re-emphasize again, this is why sales is such a cheat code, is with sales, you actually get the ability to re-watch your calls and your gameplay every day. So you can literally just improve from watching yourself. What other industry has that? I can't think of many, okay? And this is why you can level up so much in sales, is because obviously it's webbed into all of your areas of life, but no other skill really allows you to watch yourself back in real time and critique yourself. You can literally just coach yourself in real time, which is massive, okay? So this is basically the training and how to step-by-step go through it, okay? Is that essentially you need to learn the discovery process. So you need to learn how to uncover the pain, start off those calls. You need to learn how to future pace. So get the prospect to imagine what their life's going to be like with this certain product or service. You need to learn how to bridge that gap from point A to point B, of where they currently are to where they want to go. And then you need to basically learn how to objection handle, because they're always going to come up, get the commitment, and that's the process for actually making money with sales. Right? In terms of actually getting good at this, the best way to do it, especially when you're starting out, is joining Discords and communities, and you just role play with people. So you just do practice calls with people, and there's no pressure. You can essentially just get better and better. When you do actually start getting on an offer, actually doing sales in real time, then you want to watch your calls back. You want to learn how to speak more effectively, efficiently, and honestly, tonality is a big one as well. So you need to learn how to actually convey the right tonality and pacing. Okay. And then technical skills is literally just keeping your tracking consistent, keeping your CRM tidy, which is where all the deals are processed, and then other technical tasks. These are always easy. The hardest bits are actually, being in the trenches doing the sales calls. Okay, so that's good. And obviously there's always different SOPs up here that you need to basically do on each business's opportunity. So the big ones here is just don't focus on everything that could go wrong, because when you put your focus on something, it's going to happen and then it will go wrong. So what you want to do is program your subconscious mind with everything that will go right. Okay, this will attract positive outcomes into your reality. And then obviously this can be easier said than done. This is business, right? So things are going to go wrong 95% of the time. And that's why mindset, as I said before, is very important. Yeah, so you can either look at these failures as setbacks, or you can just look at them as lessons that are actually required on your journey to move you forward. Okay, it's all about perspective. Everything that goes wrong, just treat it as a lesson. And everything that goes right is from those lessons you've learned, right? It's a massive one. And then also, it's just vital to remain composed in the chaos. Okay, so no matter how hard it is, always just try to find a positive perspective, right? No matter how hard it gets, because it will get hard. And the best way to do this is obviously in the mindset section as well, but also, attract things into your life. Okay, manifest it. If you have some sort of goal, let's say it's 10K a month, right? Get the number, get 10K a month, and then listen to some, good frequencies or some sort of, heightening music. I listen to 432 hertz. So just search up 432 hertz on Spotify, look at that, and then that will basically move your brainwaves into theta so that you can actually attract that in and feel a sense of enlightenment, okay, when you're actually looking at that. And that will basically mold your brain into the most malleable bit where your brain never knows if reality is real or if something's fake. So if you can just program delusion into your brain that you've already achieved something, that was back in the mindset section, but in terms of a certain goal, then it will materialize over time. Okay, so that's another tip. On to the next section. So this is a massive one. As I was saying up in the top section, how to actually land a good offer to sell for without spending 10 to 15 grand of your hard-earned money, right? Now, this is probably one of the harder things, but it's also easy if you know the right strategies. But a lot of people get this mixed up. And again, I'll re-emphasize, being a good closer on a bad offer will always get you, wrong way around. Being a bad closer on a good offer will always get you further than being a good closer on a bad offer, right? So what to not do? Cold outreach is officially dead. It's dead because the best sales roles, they don't get posted publicly. They're not just going to post one of the best sales roles onto Indeed for 10,000 random people to apply to that aren't actually committed and can't actually put in the work. Okay, so all of the best roles are passed around behind closed doors. And this does not mean whatsoever that if you don't have experience, you can't land a role nowadays. It means there's just completely new strategies that I'll go over. So cold outreach and sending cold DMs to people, that's like 2022 or 2023 it worked. Okay, but nowadays it doesn't. So more importantly, companies just don't want talent, but someone with the right character traits. Okay, mindset, hunger, attitude, ambition. Because these characters, they will actually excel way more than someone that just has the right experience but has no, is just complacent and has no drive, right? A good company is always going to want to hire someone who's so committed to actually, learning the skill, making money, rather than someone that just has, a resume, right? And yeah, companies and online coaches and consultants and also agencies, they always want good reps. Okay, so there's always a demand and they want to hire. It's just you're looking in the wrong places. Cool. So basically, you need to be able to pick the right offer and vet the right offer. Okay, so I'll show you the strategies in a second, but you want to be very picky. You want to make sure you have conviction and believe in what you're selling. And you want to make sure that the offer has testimonials, so results. You want to make sure the offer has, I'm not even going to bother writing that, but you want to make sure that the offer is doing good things, okay? You also want to avoid offers with too many sales reps, because obviously to make 10K a month, you have to collect 100K in cash on 10% commission, or if you're on 12, you need to collect a little bit less, okay? So as I was saying, you split it by team members and business monthly revenue, okay? Because if you've got too many sales reps on a business that's not doing enough money, you're not going to make much money. And then if you've got not enough sales reps on an offer that's doing a lot of money, that's honestly amazing. So this is what to go by, but it's going to be a lot more work. So, which is always a good thing. If the business does 80 to 150K a month, you want 2 closers, 1 setter, okay? Because that's going to fill up the calendars and that's going to handle all of the calls. And again, the reps will be getting paid out 15 grand. So divide that by 2 or 1. And you can get to 10K a month. If it's doing 150 to 300, you want 2 closers. Okay, both of them can make 7 to 15 grand a month each. 3 to 600K a month. If the offer's doing that much, that's an amazing offer. And you can have about 3 to 4 closers and 2 to 3 setters comfortably. And that's when a sales manager will come in as well. And then if it's doing up to $1 million a month, then you can have about 5 to 6, maybe even more. This is realistically the sweet spot, and a sales manager as well. Okay, cool. Now, big ones from me is don't offer stack unless you actually want to burn out. Always picking one good offer will always beat having multiple different things that you're distracted with. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do that. And then stop just chasing random offers on Upwork and stay the F away from Facebook groups, because it's all just scams. Okay, this especially, yes, you can find good offers on Facebook, but Upwork is just generally smaller companies that are looking for one rep, or it's just not consistent. So stay away from this, both of them. And then, again, I've gone over this like 3 times already, so I'm not going to bore you again, but that's good. And then Yeah, essentially the industry is very saturated right now, but it's actually not. Because if you're skill trained and you have the right strategies to network, then it's so unsaturated because it's saturated with fake call seller, sales reps, and just average people. So if you're none of those, then it's unsaturated and you have the right methods, you're going so much further than anyone else. Now, okay, the new untapped methods to actually finding the best vetted A-tier offers. Vetted meaning legit. So a lot of fake OTAs or track earnings get posted. This is how to find ones that are legit and A-tier, so great offers. Okay. So these are the new methods. First, personal brand. I basically just get people reaching out to me asking me to be a closer for them just from having a personal brand. It's the most high leverage thing you can do for anything, having a personal brand and network. So networking with people as well on Instagram and platforms like that. Second would be sales agencies. Okay, so or recruitment agencies who actually build sales teams for coaching businesses or high ticket offers. Okay, so these two are great examples because obviously there's a long interview process for them, but they will place you on an amazing offer. Okay, given that you do have experience. The third is sales managers and recruiters. Okay, so obviously this does help if you have a personal brand as well to leverage, but reaching out to people who actually manage the sales team or get paid to hire people for sales teams. Okay, literally going straight to the source. The fourth would be growth operators or any coach or consultant that scales info products or agencies that hire reps for their clients. So basically reaching out to growth operators, people of this nature who hire directly for their clients. Again, this is an amazing way to get your foot in the door because they're always searching for talent. Now, fifth is deal fuel. And honestly, deal fuel is amazing. It should be a little bit further up, but just for the sake of this video, I've put it as 5. And deal fuel is basically just like an AI platform where companies go to hire reps through it, and you can make a profile for yourself. And they will basically, like the AI has actually programmed it so that roles just come to you. You don't have to outreach, you don't have to do anything. It just says congrats, or they shortlist you and the roles just come to you. Okay. Shout out Dev. And number 6 is like paying for mentorship or placement, or like a recruitment group. Okay, so this is where basically good offers will get posted and you have to basically apply for them and go through that interview process as well. Now, those are the best ways. In terms of having no experience, one-on-one mentorship. Okay, you don't need some generic course. This is better than any course that you'll actually buy. One-on-one mentorship is actually working with someone one-on-one and having that coaching there, having a mentor to actually basically give you the training, keep you accountable, role play, coaching, and then just give you direct placement or access to it at least. And they will just help you with formats for looms, everything like that, and actually how to get onboarded efficiently. So yeah, it's much more difficult to land an offer without cash collected, so without experience. But the deciding factors are if you've invested in yourself, if you've actually mastered the skill, and if you have the character traits. Those are the most important things. So if I follow that, then yeah, so it's much more important that you obviously have these, which is the mindset, hunger, attitude, etc. Okay. So I'm sure you guys have seen, if you're in the space, those videos of people getting placed on a role within an hour. So just be ready to crush it. Now, these are the messages I get every day. Yo, do you have any setters, looking for closers? So I obviously do not believe in placing you fast on some BS offer with no lead flow and bad fulfillment. So bad results. And that's just a recipe for disaster because the offer is going to basically be eliminated and deleted from reality. So although it does sound great getting placed fast, it's not ideal when you make no money and then get fired because the offer goes underwater. Okay, that's not what we want. So obviously the fastest, most efficient and effective process is becoming confident, learning the fundamentals, getting role plays, sales call evidence from mock calls, and then dialing in your looms and actually landing an A-tier offer. Okay. Now, examples of offer niches will basically be, number 1, business opportunities or biz ops. Okay, so this will be how to make money online. This could be how to start day trading, how to start SMMA, how to start Amazon FBA, how to start freelance brand scaling, how to start drop shipping, how to start reselling, anything, any sort of how to start real estate. Okay, so that's any make money online offer. Then you've also got consulting. So this will be helping people scale their offers. Okay, then you've also got selling for an agency. So this will be selling marketing services. You've got health and fitness. So there's a lot of massive fitness coaches and wellness programs. What I would also put in here is dating as well. So dating programs. The reason I would put it in is because these, like fitness and dating, they don't have a direct ROI. Okay, obviously when you get in shape, you'll have more status, you'll get more women, you'll make more money, you'll feel better about yourself. Same with dating. These don't have a direct ROI compared to something like a biz op where you can guarantee someone making money, given that they put in the work or have some sort of so health, fitness, and dating don't have direct ROI, but they will make you an incredibly good sales rep because it is a little bit of a harder sell in general. Okay, then you've also got SaaS, so selling softwares and tech. This would be classified into that as well. And then you've also got like general info. So this is actual info products where it's some sort of program or course that you go through and there's no coaching attached to it. Okay, so unlike these two, and these are more so coaching. This would be do it yourself. Do it yourself. And then you've also got done for you. So this will be selling, essentially like a licensing program or service where everything's done for you. Okay. So that's essentially like funnel build outs, full marketing stacks, operations, basically a lot of back end as well. Again, every offer is different, but this is a sort of overview of what you'll generally find. Okay. So let's follow that. So 5 is smashing the interview. This is basically just like any interview, right? Although in this online sales world, you do have to be a killer. That's what offer owners are looking for, is someone that is ready to absolutely crush it. Okay, so like always, just research the offer, research the business, basically give their brand a full audit. Okay, check all their funnels, check their socials, just be up to date on what they do and understand their business and what they're running. Okay, prepare what you've done, your track record, your close rates, your shows rates, your cash collected. Make sure that is dialed. Okay, and then obviously know what niche they're in, which I just covered before. Okay. And then essentially what you want to do when you get on the interview is just build authority as fast as possible. So basically give them a rundown of this, okay, what you've done. Very important as well is as soon as you get on the call with that sales manager, with that recruiter, first impressions are everything, no matter what you want to say. So be presentable, okay? Don't show up like in your bed, okay? A lot of people do, you'll be surprised. The competition is very low, which is what I was saying before, but just do not show up in your bed under the doona cover, okay? You'd be surprised. But yeah, essentially be on time, be in a nicely lit room, have a nice haircut, be groomed, have your hygiene dialed in, have a nice shirt on, be confident, okay? That will get you 100 times further than anyone that you're competing with, literally just that alone, okay? And then after you've gone through all of that, you actually want to make sure you want to work for them, okay? You want to make sure the team size is right, which I covered up there. That's sort of the playbook to go by. You want to ask what revenue they're doing, what are they spending on ads each month, ask their current metrics of what they're actually struggling with in terms of bottlenecks, okay? So that's another one, is bottlenecks. And then you also want to ask what their goals are, like what do they actually want to scale to revenue wise, what is their average deal size, and then how are their client results, which you would have seen from auditing the offer anyway, okay? And then essentially you just want to sell yourself, okay? Basically on the interview, they will ask you to overcome objections, okay? So just do this confidently from your role plays. Sell what you can actually do for that company, okay? Not what you have done, what you will do. So you future pace them. You're selling them the result of you actually, being a contractor for their offer, okay? And crush it. Yo. Okay, so this is the framework for a typical sales role interview, okay? So the interviewer will ask you, why do you apply for the role? Have an answer for this. Have an answer for this. So describing your experience, you will have already from what I've told you. Have an answer for this. So all your metrics, you'll have that as well. Describe your process. This is what you will obviously figure out and how you actually sell. And then have a good reason on why you're looking to switch to an offer, because no one likes people that offer hop constantly and have several offers that they're stacking. It just shows low intent. Okay. And then obviously a good, quick, smart answer on this. Okay. Pretty straightforward stuff, but that is essentially what you're going to get hit with when you're on an interview. Okay, so number 6 is closing consistently and scaling your income. So for this, you just want to track everything. Okay, track all your metrics, watch all your calls, see where you're going wrong. Okay, and then obviously always role play. You can either take more calls or offer stack. Again, I don't ever recommend offer stacking. But again, if you've got 2 really good offers, then yeah, I'd recommend it. But just in general, not so much. It's always better to just have one main offer that you stick with and go all in on. Okay, and then you can always move to better offers, move from B2C to B2B. So for bigger deal sizes, again, this is like a longer sales process. Usually B2B takes around 2 to 4 calls to actually close deals. And then you can always move into management as well. And then big one for routine and actual progression is your routine is everything. Okay. You want to get this absolutely dialed in. Otherwise you're going to crash and burn. So just eat healthy, train, get good sleep, get sunlight. Also optional, I'll put abuse stimulants, because let's be real, stimulants make the world go round. So that's a necessity, or optional at least. And yeah, basically you're now an entrepreneur. You decide how much you make, so your routine is everything. Make sure your health doesn't take a hit because of this. And again, to reiterate, progression isn't immediate. Okay, I've seen reps teleport to 10K months in the first couple of months, and others it can take half a year. Okay, so you're on your own journey. Just stay consistent, stay obsessed, and yeah, massive one. Just stay consistent no matter what, and then go crush it. Okay, if you put in the reps and follow everything in this video, and you actually dedicate yourself and go all in, you'll find success. I've literally seen people go from door to door, like retail workers, anyone who actually has a strong why and commits. Okay, and it's a growing industry. Like online education has billions of dollars flowing into it, or at least hundreds of millions, and it's going to keep growing within the next 5 to 10 years. So there's always going to be demand for good sales reps, and there's always going to be influencers. Everyone and their grandma is trying to be an influencer, so that's not going anywhere. And yeah, essentially just this is your sign to start. Why put it off? There's no reason to put it off. Moving quick is always going to beat procrastination. Okay, money loves speed. So if you've been waiting on something like this, then just start, bro. Just start. You won't regret it. You'll only regret of not doing it. So yeah. And yeah, there's literally no reason why you can't come into this industry and make some sort of commission. I'm a closer, and I also take on management clients as well. So you can see that I don't make money from some generic course. And if you're a good rep that's looking for an offer, please apply to the form below so you can get in my pipeline, because I'm always looking for talent. And if you're someone that actually just wants to speed run your way to good commissions and actually improve your sales skills, then I also take on a few guys for one-on-ones as well. Okay, where I'll give you everything in place you want an A-tier offer. Okay, as well. So yeah, if that's you, then please apply to the form below. It's super short. It should only take a minute. And yeah, follow all the strategies in this video, and good luck. Cheers.